lililotuleta hapa la kuchakata kupitia hii rasimu. Kwa maana hiyo tulikuwa tumekaa pamoja kwa ajili ya zoezi la kwanza. Sasa zoezi la pili, ninaomba tubadilisha utaratibu wa kukaa katika meza zetu. Nitaomba yafuatayo: kila meza iwe na mchanganyiko wa wadau kutoka sehemu mbalimbali, lakini lazima kuwe na mshiriki mmoja mwenye laptop akiwa staff wa CBE ambaye amepewa assignment ya kuhakikisha kwamba atakuwa na nukuu kila kitu ambacho kinajadiliwa. Namuomba kila meza staff huyo ajitambue na abaki mezani, wasiwe wawili. Kwa hiyo kama umeona umekaa mko wawili meza moja, basi mmoja wenu atahama ataenda meza nyingine. Naomba tuendelee kufanya sasa hivi ili tutakapomkaribisha Profesa Mjema tutakuwa tunaenda kutiririka na mada zetu na shughuli tutakayokuwa tunafanya. Kwa hiyo reshuffle ina take place now. Kama mmekaa watu wote ni staff, basi mnaomba mhame, tafuta mwenzako ambaye sio staff ukae naye. Tupate input kutoka kwa wadau mbalimbali, tupate brainstorming yenye ideas mbalimbali, na tutahakikisha kwamba material inakuwa documented by yule staff ambaye amekuwa designated kukaa kwenye kundi hilo. Lakini pia tuna online participants. Wao online wamefika wangapi? Nionyeshe kwa mkono. Team ya IT na wa address online wako wangapi? Nyosha kwa mkono. Ishara, watatu. Wote wa nje. Jibu yes hivi nitajua. Okay. Kwa hiyo naomba uandikie kwenye chat box. IT, naomba mnisikilize. Naomba uandike kwenye chat box kwa waandishi online, kwa wale waliokuwa online, kwamba tuna resume na tuna receive their comments shortly. Nitawapa dakika chache za kupokea comments baada ya presentation ya sasa hivi. Kuambia remain online. Sawa? Asante. Sioni watu tukibadilisha nafasi zetu. Wote tuko vizuri? Umeshawaswa? Umesharishafu, tuendelee na zoezi. Sasa naona kama vile tumefika salama, wote tuko sawa. For the benefit of those who are joining us online, good morning, good afternoon, or maybe good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the session that is ahead of us, the workshop of the CBE's 50 years Vision Development 2074. The next in the program, what will follow is the presentation. We'll hear the brief overview of the development of the CBE's 50-year vision. But after that, we will break into group discussions, and we will be receiving different contributions from various stakeholders in the room and those who are outside the room. I therefore request all those online to remain connected and to be prepared to contribute. Immediately after the presentation, we will allocate time for you to contribute. You will have to unmute your microphone and speak. Or if you're not able to do that, please send your comments in the chat box. We will also disseminate the questions, the guiding questions via the link. You will be able to connect and view the guiding questions and contribute electronically as well. Therefore, please follow us as much as you can, and throughout the process, remain connected, remain involved and engaged, and we believe that together we will achieve the desired outcome. I thus would like to take this opportunity and to invite the brain behind the strategy, the strategist, the team advisor, the person who has transformed CBE in the past 10 years from what it used to be when it was established in 1960s to what we see today. Within 10 years, less than 10 years, the establishment became a tailor-made and state-of-the-art establishment, not only in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of the education facilities, the quality of education, quality of the staff, and the teaching personnel. But also, it has now become a solid, internationally recognized college. And that person is none other than Professor Emmanuel Njema. Karibu. Professor, wakati unajitayarisha kuja hapa kutoa overview, naomba nitamke kwa Kiswahili, ili wadau wa Kiswahili na wao capture maneno yangu kwa Kiswahili. Naomba sasa nichukue fursa hii, nimkaribishe strategies engine mtaalamu, mwenye fikra, mwenye maono, na ndio mshauri mkuu wa kamati inayoandaa hii dira, na ni mkufunzi wa dira pale chuo cha CBE, ambaye ni aliyekuwa pia mkuu wa chuo cha CBE, Professor Emmanuel Njema. Karibu sana. Niwaambie Professor ametengeneza dira za TCRA, Institute of Adult Education, na long-term vision ya shirika letu la ndege Air Tanzania Limited. Sasa, je, huyo atashindwa kututengenezea ya CBE? Ni kazi kwetu kujenga sasa kwa pamoja. Professor, please, karibu sana, tupatie overview, na baada ya overview tutakaa pamoja katika meza zetu, tutakuwa na group discussions. Asante.
Okay, thank you, our facilitator, Dr. Ellen. Ingame nipamba sana, siko hivyo. Nioka. Okay, now, because of the international participants, I'm going to present this one in English. What you have is the draft CBE Vision 2074. It means that when we reach there, what kind of CBE we wanted to see it. And you know that a long-term vision is a process. So it means that within it, there are items which we needed to be achieved within 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, up to 2074. So when we come to the group discussion, don't think only about the end, but the whole process from where we are to the end. So it's not only the end one. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so the process of development of Vision 2074 was participatory. It means that it is not one person sitting at the desk and then started to do this, but it was a team where we are 6 members of the team, and we have a consultative approach to ensure that it represents the ideas of all the staff of CBE. We visited all the 4 campuses of CBE to get the views, but also visited our external participants. I know people have already acknowledged them, and Some of them are here with us, like Professor Sanchila, and the others to get this kind of view. Sorry, that's not advanced. Au nimekaa mbali sana. Inawezekana. Okay. Yeah, but I need this mic. Okay, when I show this, then we'll go forward. Okay. So, why do we need to have that kind of vision 2074? We know that CBE understands the need to adapt and innovate in response to emerging trends and anticipated changes. We have already said that there is a lot of things which are going on in this world right now. For example, the artificial intelligence thing, the Internet of Things. Right now, we cannot teach the way we used to teach, or give the type of examination we used to give. Take home essay, take home assignment, you cannot do that. Somebody will just go to the ChatGPT and will give you all the answers there. So it means that we need to change and innovate our way of doing things. And the key factors which are driving the development of vision in 2074, we have to think about a global, regional, and national commitment and the policies. For example, the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goal, Africa Union Agenda 2063, East Africa Community Vision 2050, but also the national Tanzania Development Vision 2050 is still under development, but there is already a framework. So we consulted that framework of Tanzania Vision 2050, so to see what is written there so that you can take it. But also, you know that there is an ongoing review of the education policy. So all this have to be taken on board for this vision. And the other is about technology advancement. There is a number of things which are coming right now. Most people like it to study while they're at home. So online learning platform is now a must. Otherwise, classroom teaching will be a thing of the past. Things are changing very fast, so we need the online, okay? So we need also to review how education is delivered, accessed, and experienced. Because the young generation which we have, it has its own tastes, which previously was not there. But think also about globalization, internationalization, okay? It's transforming the whole world, creating opportunities at the international arena. So it means that our students must also participate in these international collaborative researches. Right now, we can do researches with universities in America, in Germany, in China. We have linked with them, and with this kind of artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, we can easily connect with them and move forward. But also look about the change of learners' demographic and expectation. Kwamba, I was about to talk, so I forgot. Okay. It is rapidly changing. It means that the traditional and non-traditional student, right now we find people who are already mature, they've been to work. What they want is a particular knowledge, and they can just improve their work. Some of them, they don't need that certificate, but they need only the knowledge. So it means that here we have adult learners and people with a disability. Are we taking them on board? So it means that all of this we have to take into, okay, but also the high demand flexible learning option. Some people, they wanted to work, but at the same to study, but at the same time working. So if you have that kind of flexible lecturing, I can select which lecture I should attend, and this one I cannot attend, especially when you have online platforms. But also the economic pressure. Okay? In the near future, I think this public institution will be required to be depending on their own resources to run the universities and the higher learning institution. Right now, we are highly supported, almost 50% from the government. But you can see even the trend of the Treasury Register. Right now, they want each public institution to contribute to the government coffer. So with that kind, so it means that the college must seek to develop an innovative model that will ensure financial sustainability. But think about also the human capital development. Okay? Over the past 5 years, the staff population has increased about 19%, from 407 in year 2018-2019 to 488 in 2022-2023. And this number is increasing because we are expanding. So it means that there are a number of factors. But look, the situation right now, if you look at that graph there, you see that we have only 2 full professors, we have 1 associate professors, senior lecturer only 7, lecturer 34, but majority are assistant lecturers. If you want now to go to the international universities, this trend has to change. Mr. The majority should be the senior, and the minority the junior staff. But right now, junior staff are the majority compared to the senior staff. So we need also to change that kind of trend. So it means that we need to invest in the long-term training, staff development programs to support career development, and to create new ways to ensure that our staff are reaching the high caliber kind of staff we need for the CBE of 2074. Look also about the CBE research output. It has been encouraging, because when we compare 5 years ago, number for journal papers per year was only 33, but last year were 99. So it means that CBE is growing. Previously, there were no papers at all, but right now, number of published articles in reputable journals, not the local and the international journals, have increased to that particular level, but also number of conference presentation has also been increasing. We have only year 2020-2021 where the trend didn't go very fast because of COVID, but after that we find that it has picked up again, and we have more papers presented. But also funded research. Funded research is where somebody has written a research proposal, and this one you get international funding from international organization. That's why it is known as funded research. Also, it has been encouraging that it is paying between 4 and 3 each year, and we see also a positive in that one. Student enrollment. 5 years ago, the total number were only 7,000. But right now we're talking 17,205, and in the morning the rector said we were already 19 when we take also the new March intake. So it means that the student number is increased. You know, Tanzania population is increasing very fast. So the colleges also have to prepare yourself to accept more students there. So the number have increased it from 7,000 5 years ago to 17,000 last year. Academic programs, campus-wise, you see in Dar es Salaam campus has increased from 11 programs to 22 last year, in Dodoma from 8 to 19, Mwanza from 4 to 5. Mbeya is our still new campus, is still in the diploma and certificate. It has a few, but it is also going to grow. So that is what we are seeing that particular. Okay. About financial capabilities, right now we are able to cover our expenditures by 56% because we have tuition fee 52% and the other sources 4%. But the government is giving us about 41% of the running of the college, especially from the salaries, and other government grants about 3% from the government. So it means that here you can see the problem. We're depending too much on the tuition fee. Tuition fee, you can see that tuition fee is accounting about 52%. So it means that if we have a problem with the student, then you do the college going concern will be a problem. So it means that we have to find other ways how to fund the college. About academic excellence and collaboration, online education program, we're starting this 23-24 year, 2024-25, but previously we have none. Collaborative partnership have been increasing from 2 5 years ago to 6 last year. Exchange programs also increased from 2 5 years ago to 4. But apprenticeship program, right now we have just started, as the rector already said, that we have already signed MOU with weight and measure agents, so that our students can be half the time be at the college and half the time at the WMA. Infrastructure development, now you can see that the number of students is increasing, but the speed of increasing of infrastructure is not in tandem with the increase of number of students. True, we've increased the infrastructure, but look at the speed of increasing the number of students compared to the increase of infrastructure. So it means that we still have inadequacy in infrastructure such as computer laboratories, lecture theaters, but more important, student accommodation. For example, in Dar es Salaam, our hostel can accommodate only about 200 students. But Dar es Salaam campus has almost 10,000 students, but only 200 can be accommodated on the campus. So it means that here is a problem, especially in campus accommodation. Okay. When we talk about energy consumption and the environmental issue, okay, so the environmental landscape is integral, CBE overall sustainability and the responsibility of photo. We have to look at the energy consumption. And sometimes I become angry when I see somebody in the office is living the whole night, the AC is just running, and you find it is very costly, and is not in the office. Or sometimes find that the corridor lamps are on the whole day, and it is a bright sunlight, but somebody just left the corridor lights is just on. So it means that we need how to the energy consumption pattern in order to control that one. About waste management, water usage. We need also about green spaces and biodiversity, but also look about sustainable building, which is taking care of all this kind of energy. So it means that to ensure that energy is contained within the building. But important also, we need to mainstream environmental issues in curricula and research, so that people are being taught about environmental issues, because now it's become a very big concern worldwide. We have SOC analysis. You can see it in your book. I cannot read all this. Okay, but we have aligned our vision with a number of regional international agenda. You can see there the national one, the regional one, and the global one as depicted there. Can you also be able to see them? Now, our vision is to be a resourceful, world-class college recognized for excellence in applied business education, research, and consultants. If we read between the lines, we can say to be a resourceful means that having all the resources we need to run our college, but also a world-class. 50 years to come, we don't want it to be just the national college or compare ourselves with just the regional one, but we want it to be at the world-class, and it is possible. Recognized for excellence, but in applied business education. Not only theoretical one, but applied research. You want things which are touching the lives of people. Applied education, business education, applied research, and applied consultants. And we have 3 important pillars where will help us to reach this kind of vision. And the first one is academic excellence and innovation. The second pillar about infrastructure development, environmental sustainability. And the third pillar is about human capital and financial capability. I'll look at some of these pillars. For example, pillar number 1, academic excellence and innovation. Current challenges, you can find that to have low rate of research per academic staff. Look at the number of academic staff we have, but also number of funded research, 4-3, while we are talking about almost 200 academic staff, okay? But also high student staff ratio, okay? High student staff ratio compared to the number of students and the academic staff. Our ratio is very high, but also high dropout of students, unemployability for CBE graduate, low level of research among undergraduate students, okay? And globally, ranking CBE is still very low. Nationally, we are not bad. We are around 14 out of 52 high learning institutions, but globally, still not high. So we need to go globally, but also low satisfaction of the student. Then, what is now our aspiration? What do we want to do? Once you see those kind of challenges, what do we want to do? What is our aspiration? What do we want to do? Okay? At the student-staff ratio, we say that we have to lower student-staff ratio to the international standard because we want it to be a world-class college, so it means that student-staff ratio must be also at the international standard. And the curriculum quality, we want to have relevance and the currency of academic programs, which we are addressing the need of the market and the need of our students. But also alignment with the industrial needs and the trend. Because most of the employers say that our graduates are not qualified. That's why we started this new program, which is aligning our training with the employers, but also integration of experiential learning opportunity. Regarding the graduation rates, we want 90% of our students to graduate. Retention rate, 99% for the enrolled students to complete their studies, to reduce the dropouts. And we think right now that we have high learning loans for diploma students. Previously, most of them were dropping because of lack of fees. But right now, at least we have that loan for the diploma students, and they can reach that 99 to complete their studies. But research opportunities, we want our 50% of our undergraduate students to be engaged in researches and 100% of our postgraduate students to be engaged in researches. Right now, our undergraduates are almost not doing really researches. They are doing some project, but not really researches. We want even to involve them to do researches. About innovation culture, because our college must be innovative in order to be at the world class. We need to have international innovation awards. At least we used to be to get at least 2 innovation awards per year. We can achieve that if we want. And innovation workshop and event, CBE to hold 2 weeks innovation events each year to show what we have done in this particular year and what we have invented. About collaboration and partnership, we want this kind of interdisciplinary collaboration and CBE to acquire at least 10 collaboration across different academic discipline worldwide. And the partnership with industry, CBE to work hand in hand with the Tanzania Private Sector Foundation to ensure that it has at least 20 partnership with the industries in Tanzania, but also collaboration with the local governments so that the CBE should be able to address the problems of the local government. When we go to the second pillar, infrastructure development, environmental sustainability, we have the following current challenges: that we have insufficient learning facilities with overcrowded classes, insufficient technological infrastructure, insufficient maintenance of physical facilities, environmental blind constructions, and insufficient campus green areas. So what is our aspiration to deal with the infrastructure? The first one regarding facilities and resources, we need to have state-of-the-art facilities and laboratories. So when you come to CBE, you find that this is a world-class college because of the facility have, but adequate library resources, including the digital databases. So you can be able to access the library wherever you are. And access to technological and equipment for research and learning. When you talk about physical facilities, we are talking about classroom, labs and workshop, libraries, sport facilities, hostel and accommodation, to ensure we have sufficient of them in tandem with the number of students that we have. Okay. Technological infrastructure, to ensure that we have Wi-Fi and internet access across all the campuses. So the student, wherever they are at the campus, should be able to access the internet facilities, computer facilities, but also e-learning platform. Right now we have an e-learning platform, and somewhere from this March intake we're starting online program, but we needed to improve that one, and also to have some smart classrooms. And regarding accessibility and safety, we make sure that we are taking into consideration different groups, disabled, to be able to access our facilities at different levels, but also with the safety consideration of all our facilities. Regarding infrastructure maintenance, we need to make sure that we have routine maintenance to all of infrastructure, from the physical infrastructure, the building, but also technological infrastructure, to have a routine maintenance for them, but also to ensure that we have green initiatives. When we go to our third pillar, human capital and financial capabilities, current challenges, we have low ratio of staff with CBE, although it is increasing. Right now, I think we have almost 54 PhDs out of almost 200 academic staff. So it is increasing. But high staff to student ratio, okay, large classes, low level of research output, non-existence of research to be recognized, graduate to a success in after exiting CBE, but also very low grant acquisition and external research funding. You can see we have only 3 to 4. We need to have more research funded project outside the CBE. And our aspirations, what do we want to achieve at the end? When we talk about human capital, same academic staff qualification, we need 90% of our teaching staff to have PhD. Because once you have a PhD, means that you will have a lot of researchers, will be able to compete at international research grants because of a number of PhD. But 80% of the teaching staff having research experience and industrial knowledge in order to contribute to strong academic environment, so that the funding should not be only from fees, but also funding from the research. And 30% of teaching staff to attend professional development programs and continuous learning initiative each year. About teaching effectiveness, we need to have online system for student evaluation of teaching, and 80% of academic staff are using innovating teaching methods and technologies. We say that we are changing, we need also to change the method of delivery of academic, but also to attain international staff to student ratio. Okay. Okay. Research outputs. We need at least 100 publications in a peer-reviewed international journal per year. When we take the number of students, we need 100 publications each year at the peer-reviewed international journal. That is where our impact will be seen internationally. And at least 50% of academic staff participating in conferences and collaborative research projects each year with international partners. And the increase of 500% from the baseline grant acquisition, okay, and external research funding by academic staff. The 4-3 we have is very low. We want to increase at least to 200, 300 research grants. Student achievement, okay, this is 90% graduation rate, 90% students to complete their programs, and 20% students to be successful in national, international competition, so that we have a quality student. Diversity and inclusion, and the existence of diversity among academic staff, administration, teaching staff, and students, and the existence of inclusive policies in the practice which are taking into board a number of different demands, and the existence of support service of underrepresented groups. There are groups which are underrepresented at our higher learning institutions. Can we have some program to deal with this kind of group which are higher? Okay. Global perspectives. We need to have international collaboration and exchange programs. At least if we increase the number of links internationally, we have about right now 6 links, but we need to increase to have more this international collaboration and exchange program, but integration of global perspectives in curricula, so that our curricula can be accepted in our collaborative institutions like in Finland, in China, in Germany, where we have collaborative institutions, but also participation in international conferences and research. Technological integration, adopting of cutting-edge technology for teaching and research. We need to have achieved that kind, and availability of online learning resources and infrastructure for remote and blended learning.
About the financial capability, we need to have some endowment funds and reserve, okay? And to increase the size and the growth of the college endowment so that we can invest in a number of areas where at least we'll be able to get extra income from the endowment funds. But also existence and utilization of financial reserves for emergency and strategic initiatives. This is something also to discuss with the government, because the fifth government didn't like to have this kind of fund to be invested somewhere. We are given fund to do something, do this. But when we talk with them that we need to have that kind of fund, because sometimes there is an emergency, there is some strategic initiative which we need to enter. Then if we don't have this kind of fund, then we cannot attend those emergency meetings. Have to go back to the budget and remove some items from the budget. But once we have this kind of fund, can be able to be used at the emergencies. And tuition and fee structure, okay? Tuition and fee level compared to the peer institution should be set at the level to be similar to other institutions. And trends in tuition fees increases in the financial aid availability to ensure that we don't depend much on the tuition fee. That's why we needed to have diversification of revenue sources, okay? Because the dependence on tuition fee can be a problem in the long run, okay? And the revenue streams such as grants, donation, research funding, we need to have this kind of strategies. So it means that we need to develop strategies for diversifying income sources to reduce financial risk. And another item is about fundraising and philanthropy. Okay, success of fundraising campaign. What is the success in the fundraising campaign? We've tried it to do two. Our success was not very good. Then we need to have strategies for funding campaign. For example, using our alumni, okay, and engagement in other activities which will ensure that it increases some funding in our college. But also to contain our costs. So cost management, so it means that we need to increase efficiency in the cost management and resource utilization, and we must have a strategy for controlling operating expenses. Inaenda mbele baada ya kurudi nyuma. About infrastructure investment, we need also capital investment in facilities, technologies, and equipment to be at the world-class level, and the maintenance and upgrading of existing infrastructure. We've also to talk about risk management. Okay, we have some risk policies, but how are we able to? Okay, how we prepare when we have some financial challenge? It means that we must be well prepared in case we have our financial challenge. Some technology huko naona haitaki kusogea. Investment performance, okay? So management performance for investment portfolio, we have to think also how we're going to use the endowment fund for investment. Compliance with the ethical and responsible investment practice, which is in line with the government policies. So this is the summary of our strategic vision. Means that we have our vision there as a resourceful world-class college recognized for excellence in applied business, education, research, and consultancy. And we have our pillars, and below the pillars we have the enablers or strategies which will be used to attain our pillars there. And with this picture, which is the last one, I end my presentation, and the facilitator can come here and lead us for the group discussions.
To be honest, I was listening, and I am jealous of those who attend your lectures. It's very interesting, the whole flow and everything that was presented. Nadhani tumeelewa, si ndio? Tuliokuwa tunafuatilia, tuliokuwa huku ndani ukumbini, tumeelewa vizuri, tumeweza kusikia, lakini pia tunazo copies of the strategy dira, rasimu iko hapa kwenye kila meza, ina nakala yake. Mtaona rangi ya blue imekuwa binded. I will now address those who are online. I think I will work with IT team. Please let me know what is the status. For those who are online, were you able to follow the presentation? Do you have any comments before I proceed with those who are physically present with us here? I would like to first hear or maybe see in the chat box any comments. We are now accepting comments, recommendations, contributions from those who are online. Professor Mjema took us through the brief overview of the strategy and the strategy of 2074 of the College of Business Education. And based on the last slide, the 3 pillars, those are the 3 areas, but the entire objective of the college is also on the same slide. And taking into consideration the entire presentation, would you have anything to comment maybe in one of the areas that were highlighted? Yes, the international, the ones online. Okay. Who has the mic? Naomba mic, nimemkabidhi mtu wa IT. Naomba ulete mic, professor anaisoma. Naomba mpatie. Team CBE mnazikusanya, si ndio? Ziko recorded, okay. Kwa sababu nataka kugawa sasa group, lakini nipenda kutoa fursa kwa waliokuwa online kutokana na muda. Unaweza kutaba ni usiku kwao. Tuwape kipaumbele. Is it? Yeah.
Okay, we have comment from Chi Ayomi, must be from China, and he says I was able to follow. Thank you. So if you have any comment regarding this or additional, you can. And also have a hand from Nasra. Perhaps you give Nasra from international to say. Nasra, can you remove can you unmute your mic and say something? I've seen your hand.
Thank you very much. And yes, I followed. That was a very good presentation. My name is Nasra. I can't call myself international. I'm actually your neighbor right here in Kenya. It's because I'm having another meeting I needed to run to. So I thought I'll just give just a few observations from my end as a way of contributing. One is I appreciate the recognition of artificial intelligence in the vision. It's just that I felt that perhaps it needs to be given a bit of more prominence, because it is it is a threat and it's also a solution. And I know it may be falling within technology, but my observation is that I felt artificial intelligence needs to be given a bit more prominence. That's one. Secondly, it's the issue of financial constraint, which Prof highlighted very well. So perhaps that is redundant from my end. I was just wondering about the funding issue. And is there a possibility, do we foresee a low student enrollment due to competitors? Or maybe, I don't know how it happens in Tanzania, that we have students in my country leaving to other countries. And that would affect the population, or in terms of student population, vis-a-vis low income. and which will result to the institution being unable to meet the institution financial obligation. So that ties with economic pressures, and the increased, the issue of cost of resources, I think, is key. But I just felt maybe just a little emphasis on the increasing cost of information resources, because the ever increasing cost of information resources remains a huge challenge. But perhaps the opportunity would be, which I believe happens in Tanzania, that there's a consortium where it's possible to share access to information resources. Do I say last but not the least, retention of professional staff who may be seeking opportunities in other institutions? And while we speak about staff, any thoughts on how the college plans to develop and enhance research skills for the purpose of increasing quality research output from the college, maybe mentorship or trainings? Because we all know that increased quality research is equal to higher university ranking, and we are aware that university ranking is a metric that is used by many in selecting a university. And to tie to research output, we cannot talk about research without talking about predatory as a major threat. The increase of predatory journals is well known, and these are continuing to mutate, even for us who are in the academia. I mean, we are struggling to identify the good from the bad, and they have perfected the art of misleading researchers into thinking they are legitimate journals. So this has become a major problem for the academic community, or do I say a thorn in the academic flesh? And therefore, there's need to factor predatory publishing journals as a major challenge. So that is it from me, just some observation and comments for consideration. And thank you very much for this opportunity. Over, back to you.
Thank you, Nasra. That is very well noted, and indeed, I'm sure the CBE has taken note. I have also equally took note of everything you have presented, and we appreciate for that. Anybody else online, please?
We see the hand of Chia Yomi. Can you unmute and come? I see your hand.
Good morning. This is Sala Kabanda from University of Cape Town.
Your name?
I hope you can
sorry,
hear
I
me.
missed your name. Sarah.
Sala Kabanda. Sala Kabanda.
Okay. Thank you. Proceed.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for inviting me to the workshop. And I would like to add some notes. I think Nasra has mentioned most of the things, but I think my emphasis would have been on the transformation aspect of the CBE staff. I was wondering what inclusive measures are we going to incorporate to ensure that issues of gender, I think Prof also mentioned aspects of students with disability and the more matured student. How do we ensure that their profiles are included such that in the next year, CBE becomes more inclusive in nature, as well as the ranking. So, for example, in terms of gender profile and the ranks at senior lectureship, full professorship, in terms of gender and those with other inclusivity profiles, how are they faring? So I was wondering if that could be debated upon, as well as so one, Nasra, I think, identified aspects of mentorship program that could be incorporated in it with full professors mentoring the junior ones. I think that works well through course supervision processes. I know it has worked very well in our institutions where full professors would provide that guidance to the young academics through PhD program mentorship. Then as well as workshop sessions. So I think in order to ensure that the research culture is cultivated, it would be advisable, or if it's possible, because of workload issues, if the various departments could have some sort of workshop sessions at the end of the year, and senior academics would come in and assist those junior with their workshop development or paper development. And I wouldn't put down the aspect of conferences. So as well as we liked, of course, to target top journals, it is very important to allow those coming up to go to or to attend these conferences where they can learn the craft of writing papers and networking. So it's always good. We encourage, I'm sure, I hope that's what's happening at CBE, because I saw a significant jump in output from 2022 to 2023 in conferences and journals. So whatever prompted that, it would be nice if we could have some understanding of what really happened there, so that we can ensure that we promote whatever happened there to ensure that we have more output. So usually these conferences are a stepping stone to good quality journals. So assisting or providing opportunities for young academics to tap into these conferences so that they can help them in coming up with a good journal output. The other part was the workload. So you could tell that my emphasis maintains that aspect of research. So in terms of workload management, I know there is a big ratio between a staff student. So if we could have some sort of block sessions where, I don't know how it works in CBE, but where we could have some sessions or block out certain timelines where some researchers or academics could go and do their research, and others come in and feed in or take that place. This has worked well in some institutions where some academics, it's not a research leave, but it's a way of working around your workload so that you could provide some sort of research output. And this is helpful when the research has reached the time frame where you're writing it up, not necessarily at the beginning of the work where you're doing all this data collection, etc. But once someone is at the phase of writing up, you block out some time from their teaching workload so they can work around this. So these are some of the mechanisms that could be assisted to ensure that the profile of these staff members becomes more, the existing staff members becomes, more inclusive, and those who are doing their master's or PhD could attain whatever they are trying to attain. I think for now that could be it. And I was wondering, I know Prof mentioned the aspect of increased student dropout. Apart from fees, which is what was noted, I was wondering what other reasons could be fueling that, other than fees. If we could debate on that, we could provide departments probably with mechanism of how to assist them in addressing that aspect. I think for now, this is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very valid inputs. I'm not sure, Professor, would you like to respond to the question of the dropout, or we don't have to do it now? We'll take the net, okay. Any other participant? No other hand?
Okay, there was a question about the dropout, that it is not only just because of fees, but also with the other work challenges. But now we see our strategy is to have a flexible program, because we said demographic has changed. We have adult learners, and these adult learners, some of them are working. So if you go to the strict classroom training, that is the old way. Right now, we're going to have a flexible learning platform, and somebody can attend a class at any particular point you want. And also through our e-learning platform, can have also recorded classrooms that we give lecture through, for example, Zoom, but then we record it, so the student can access the material at any particular time. So with that kind of innovation, can help to reduce the dropouts. Thank you.
I believe that was addressed, and yeah, there are many reasons. So for those who are online, it seems there are no more comments from those who are online. Thank you very much for your participation. We appreciate your comments. We have taken note of them, and they will be taken into consideration during the review and the revision of the strategy. Now I would like to continue with those who are physically in this room, and for those who are online, thank you, and we wish you a beautiful day or evening, depends on your geographic location, or even morning. Goodbye. Because now we will switch over to the physical mode for those who are here in the room, and our language of operandi may change. Sasa narudi kwa wale wadau tuliokuwa hapa ukumbini. Nadhani tumesikia comments kutoka nje, kutoka kwa wadau wetu waliokuwa nje, lakini cha msingi tumepata uelewa wa hii dira ya 2074, wapi CBE inataka kwenda na dhamira yake ni nini. Sasa tuko katika, nitasema groups kwa sababu kila meza ina watu zaidi ya wangapi? Watano. Kama mmekuwa wawili watatu, naomba tubadilishane. Maanake kuna baadhi ya meza mko wawili, wengine watatu. Naomba tujumuike kwa pamoja tafadhali, ili tuendelee na zoezi letu. Kama kwenye meza mmekaa majority CBE staff, naomba mbadilishane. Tuwe na kila meza kuwe na, yani ndio tunasema inclusion na diversity. We need inclusion, diversity. Sawa? Tusiwe watu wote tumetoka institution moja. Naomba tusambaratike, na ndani ya saa moja linalofuata tutakuwa na zoezi linalofuata. Sasa wale ambao tumetumiwa link, kila musika kutoka CBE kuna link ya maswali tumetumiwa. Naomba tuiweke online. Kwa mtu wa IT, naomba uproject yale maswali, guiding questions, tupitie kwa pamoja, alafu tuendelee na zoezi letu. Mjitahidi ili niweze kuhesabu pia tuko group ngapi. Sasa wakati tumeshajiandaa, naomba tujihesabu tuko meza ngapi, tuweze kujua groups ziko ngapi, na nitawatask kila meza. Kila meza mtakuwa na mwenyekiti na mtakuwa na katibu. Meza kuu mtaruhusiwa kudiscuss pia, maana mnaweza mkakuta mmepata contribution pia. Yeah. Kuna link inakuwa shared. Wakati link inakuwa shared, naomba among yourselves mchague nani katibu, nani mwenyekiti. Na muamue katibu ni yule anaye take notes, ama katibu atakuwa na ratibu tu mfumo wa discussion, alafu note taker ni somebody else. Naomba demokrasia itawale. Sasa hivi tujadili kwa pamoja. Naomba mikono ya CBE staff mliokuwa kwenye meza, nyosha mkono. Ambayo una nini, laptop mpakato hii? Naomba unyoshe mkono, niwaone. Mwenye laptop CBE, kila meza. Naona moja. Meza ya kule siwoni. Nahitaji, utabidi usishushe mkono mpaka nihakikishe kila meza ina CBE staff mwenye laptop. Hapo mko wawili. Mmoja atahama. Kule hayupo. Kwa hiyo mmoja wenu aende upande wa pale. Kule yupo? Okay, una laptop, uko assigned. Okay, mmoja yupo, hapo yupo, hapa yupo. Meza hiyo sijamwona. Meza hiyo hapo. Kule mwisho mko wawili, mmoja. Hapa mmoja tayari, kule tayari. Kuna meza hapo katikati haina mtu wa CBE, yupo? Hakuna mtu wa CBE. Hapo mko wawili. Naomba mmoja ahamie pale. Kama ni kuswap, yupo? Okay, uta-take notes, sio? Sijaona, ngoja. Sijamwona huyo. Uta-take notes, unaandika. Kwa hiyo yupo. Hapa meza, lakini wako wawili. Meza ipi haina staff wa CBE ambaye anaandika? Meza ipi haina staff wa CBE? Haya. Sasa mteue mwenyekiti. Kazi ya mwenyekiti wa hii meza. Naomba usikilize assignment. Kazi ya mwenyekiti ni kupitia yale maswali. Nitawasomea pia hayo maswali, nitawapa direction. Kwa hiyo kazi ya mwenyekiti itakuwa ni kupitia hiyo direction na kuongoza team na kumanage the time. Tumeelewana? Kwa hiyo utakuwa unatoa mwongozo wa maswali, una guide wenzako, yani ndio unaongoza team kupata taarifa, na pia wewe ni timekeeper. Tusiwe na assignment ya watu wengi. Kazi ya mwenyekiti. Kazi ya mstaafu wa CBE, una make sure hakuna points zinapotea. Tuko pamoja? Naomba tutoe masharti. Naomba tusikilizane. Kila point, kila mchango wa kila mtu aliyokuwa hapa ni muhimu. Tunaelewa, eh? Kila point itakayokuwa addressed na kila mchango unukuliwe ni muhimu. Hakuna majibu ambayo sio sahihi. Majibu yote tunahitaji, yote ni sahihi na yatakuja kupangwa kutokana na zile pillars baadaye kamati itakapopokea na kuifanyia kazi. Katika reflection yetu, kuna mwenye swali? Kuna mwenye swali? Wangapi wameshapokea link? Naomba mkono juu. Moja. Naomba mnyooshe mkono alafu usishushe. Itanisaidia kuona idadi ya meza ambao tayari imeshapata link. Ni 3 tu, 1, 2, 3. Naona 3 tu. Wakati link inaendelea kuwa shared, naomba tupate mwelekeo kama ifuatavyo. Kuna area 5 katika group discussion yetu. Sitaenda nitty-gritty ila nitazinukuu 5. Ya kwanza, are we together? Ya kwanza is reflecting on the current state. Tulipo sasa. Where are we now? What is our current state? Naona tunaangalia hapa mafanikio, strength zetu, labda weaknesses, lakini successes. Twende kwenye mtazamo chanya, tuko wapi katika sasa hivi. Na pia unaweza ukaipitia rasimu iliyokuwa mezani na kuiangalia pale, inaonyesha current situation yetu ya CBE, na uangalie kitu gani ambacho kipo lakini hatujakiweka kwenye rasimu. Naamini kila mtu ana rasimu mkononi mwake, maana ziko makala za kutosha. Point number 2, ama kwenye reflection. Tukishaangalia hapa tulipo, twende tukaangalia tunakwenda wapi? Matarajio yetu, matamanio yetu kwenda wapi? Huko tunakokwenda, yale yajayo yatakuwa ya aina gani? Vitu gani vinajitokeza katika maendeleo yetu ya sekta ya elimu, ya biashara, ya kiulimwengu ambayo yanaweza yakaathiri kwa njia moja au nyingine, hasi ama chanya, yale matamanio yetu ya kutupeleka tunakotaka kwenda miaka 50 ijayo, ambayo huenda hayajawekwa katika rasimu. Unaweza ukaichangia, tukaongeza kwenye rasimu, lakini labda kwenye rasimu tulichokiandika hakipo. Wewe unaweza au kama hakiko sawa, comment yako pia ni valid, tunaomba tuipokee. Lakini pia, how do we foresee emerging trends na future changes impacting CBE? Jinsi tunavyoona vitu vinavyoviashiria, vinavyoibuka kila wakati. Kwa mfano, hata hiyo intelligence ya bandia tunaipata sasa hivi. Ni vitu ambavyo havikuwepo miaka kadhaa iliyopita, lakini vinaibuka na vinashamiri, na sasa vinaweza vikaathiri vipi au vikaigusa vipi au vikachangia vipi yale maazimio ya CBE, ya mpango wetu wa dira ambayo tunaipanga kwenda tunakoelekea huko mbele katika maisha yetu, na inaweza ikaleta implication gani katika strategy, yani dira, lakini utekelezaji na mtazamo mzima wa mwelekeo wa chuo. Lakini namba 3, tunaangalia ushiriki wa wadau pamoja na wao, mategemeo yao ni nini na mahitaji ya wadau, ambao wadau ni sisi. Kwa hiyo stakeholder expectations and stakeholder needs. Je, are there any key needs ama expectations wadau tunazo ama tunategemea kwa nazo? Na wadau ni wanani? Wadau ni wanafunzi, lecturers, yani academic teaching staff na non-teaching staff, wote hao ni wadau. Lakini industry partners, ambao ni kwenye industry tuna wafanyabiashara, wamiliki wa viwanda, lakini pia tuna watu wa export and import, lakini pia tuna wasajili wa makampuni na mashirika, quality assurance, wote hao bado ni industry partners. Lakini pia kuna watunga sera, wananchi ambao watumiaji wa products zetu, wote sisi ni wadau, pamoja na wadau kwenye sekta ya elimu, lakini sekta zingine zote zinazohusika, hata ya afya. Tunasema, je, wadau wote hao wako reflected, wameonekana katika rasimu yetu? Je, inaakisi mahitaji na matarajio ya wadau wote katika sekta ya maendeleo, sekta ya biashara, sekta mzima wa mfumo wa uchumi, ambao CBE ikiwa ni chuo kinachotengeneza wataalam na chuo ambacho kiko katika mfumo wa kujenga uchumi wa nchi kupitia elimu mahususi inayojenga biashara na mfumo wote wa uzalishaji. Je, inakidhi matakwa hiyo? Lakini pia tunaangalia how can CBE ensure that its future vision aligns with the evolving needs and expectations of the various stakeholders. Nadhani hapa pia nimegusia kidogo tayari kwamba yale matarajio ya baadaye, ile dira ambayo CBE inaiona miaka inayokuja, je, inakwenda vipi sambamba na mahitaji ambayo yanajitokeza na matarajio yanayojitokeza kwa wale wadau. Kinachofuata ni innovation and adaptability. Sasa ufumbuzi, adaptability ni, mimi najua kwenye climate change, adaptability ni kukubali matokeo na kujaribu kuenda na mabadiliko yanayojitokeza. Sasa how do you adapt with that? Kitu kimeshatokea, sasa unaishije nacho? Kwa hiyo ndo tunaiangalia hiyo, kwa sababu ni ngumu sana kukubali mabadiliko na kuadapt nayo kwa kasi. Kwa hiyo hapa tunaangalia, je, kuna opportunity gani muhimu sana kwenye masuala yote ya ufumbuzi, lakini pia kwenye adaptation, ambao unadhani CBE bado haijapekua kwa undani na bado kuna fursa ya kufanya hivyo. Hebu tuiangalie hiyo. Lakini tukiwa tunaangalia matukio ambayo yanaonyesha kwenye mfumo wa maendeleo tunakoelekea kwenye mstari wa maendeleo katika miaka inayosonga mbele, tunaona mabadiliko. Je, kuna areas mahususi ambayo tungependa kuiangalia kwenye masuala ya utafiti, masuala ya elimu, lakini pia kwenye utoaji wa huduma ambayo inahitaji focus kubwa au inahitaji mchango mkubwa wa uwekezaji kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha kwamba CBE inaendelea kuwa relevant, yani inaendelea kuwa mstari wa mbele, inaendelea kuhitajika, lakini pia inaendelea kuwa effective, yani inatekeleza bila kuterereka. Je, hivyo vigezo vipo katika rasimu hiyo ambayo ilikuwa mbele yetu? Na ya 5 tunakwenda kwenye future and strategic focus area. Sasa hapa tunasema when you think about the best future, what kind of institution do you inspire CBE to become? Nadhani hapa tunatakiwa kureflect tulipo sasa, tulipotoka, lakini pia tusiache kureflect tunakokwenda. Tuangalie vijana wetu, tuangalie watoto wetu, tuangalie jamii yetu. Si ndio tuna interact nao kila siku? Matarajio yao yakoje? Tunakoelekea tunakwenda wapi? Na hiyo ndio mtazamo tutakaoweka kwenye CBE. Tusijitazame sisi na tusifanye kitu kwa mazoea. Tuangalie ulimwengu unabadilika kwenda wapi. Na tukiangalia vitu ambavyo tunaviona kwenye runinga, kwenye research ambazo tunazifuatilia za ulimwengu, yani vitu ambavyo tunaviona vinaendelea katika mfumo wote wa kimaendeleo ya binadamu, hapo ndo tutatakiwa tuiweke strategic focus yetu iende wapi, dira yetu iende wapi. Tunataka CBE iwe chombo gani? Na mkuu wa chuo aliyepita Profesa Mjema ametuambia umbrella pale juu, tumeona tunataka kuwa nani CBE. Lakini pia ningependa kuona CBE inatoa mchango gani kwenye jamii, mchango gani kwenye uchumi, mchango gani kwenye taifa, na mchango gani kwenye elimu ya biashara. Naona inaakisi. Je, CBE sasa, what I do for CBE, alafu sasa what can CBE do for me, lakini not me today. What can CBE do for my children and for my grandchildren, or maybe for my younger brothers and sisters. Lakini pia tunaweza tukafikiria kwamba ni strategic area gani ambazo wewe ungependa kusuggest hapa tuweze kuangalia upande wa investment. Tumesikia kwamba upande wa financing ni challenge, mpaka tumeangalia option ya endowment fund, lakini pia option ya international students, lakini pia na fees. Lakini sasa je, mnadhani kuna fursa gani tena zingine za kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba chuo kinapata rasilimali fedha pamoja na rasilimali watu, nadhani iweze kuweza kupata mafanikio endelevu ya muda mrefu ambayo inajiendesha. Kwa hiyo hizi area kuu 3, ambayo ya kwanza ni kutathmini tulipo sasa, ya pili matarajio ya tunakokwenda, fikra zetu ya huko tunakokwenda, ya 3 ni matarajio ya wadau na mahitaji ya wadau mbalimbali, ya 4 ambayo ni ufumbuzi na adaptability, na ya 5 ni mfumo wote wa uchumi wa kujiendesha, lakini pia mchango wa chuo kwa jamii, kwa nchi, na kwenye sekta ya elimu ya biashara. Tunategemea CBE iende wapi? Nimeeleweka? Tumeelewa vizuri sana? Nafurahi sana. Asanteni kwa hilo. Sasa tutakwenda mfumo kuanzia sasa saa 1, sasa hivi ni saa 5:40 mpaka saa 6:40. Naomba tuweze kuchambua hayo yote au baadhi ya hayo niliyoyataja. Kwa nini nasema hivyo? Kwa sababu pale ambapo unaona sekta fulani haijakugusa wewe, kwa mfano reflect the current state, hapa tulipo sasa hivi CBE, hiyo mdau ambao haujasoma chuo cha CBE na hauko pale leo, ni ngumu kujibu hilo swali. Tunakuruhusu usilijibu kwa sababu litawalenga wadau waliokuwa ndani ya chuo ama wahitimu wa chuo. Nadhani mnanielewa. Kwa hiyo don't dwell on the question that is not within your competence. Ukiona hii haijajigusa moja kwa moja, uwe huru kwenda swali lingine, ili tuweze kuchukua muda ule tuliokuwa nao tupate input kwa wingi iwezekanavyo kutoka kila mmoja katika eneo lake. Hiyo itakuwa ufanisi sana. Sawa? Na tutakapomaliza baada ya hiyo saa 1, group leaders utatupa brief overview hapa. Nini kimejadiliwa, mmecontribute nini katika area gani? Utasaidiwa na katibu wako ambaye ni mtu wa CBE. Naomba tufanye hivyo. Kwa hiyo presentation zenu zitakuwa in bullet point. Yule anayeandika ataandika kwa kirefu, lakini group leader, yani utaweka tu bullet point. What key areas meongeza that are not there. Don't repeat what is there. Tuko pamoja? Kilichopo kipo, ongeza ambacho hakipo. Haya, nawaachia. Kama kuna mtu mwenye swali, naomba tufanye hivi, nyosha mkono, nitakufuata. Au kama sijakuona, naomba unione ili niweze kukuassign mtu wa kamati awaone kama ninahitaji ufafanuzi zaidi. Tuko pamoja? Asante. The time is ticking. Nimeanza. Samani, najua nilikuwa so engrossed na strategy. Naomba attention dakika moja tu, sekunde 30. Naomba popote alipo Chafet Mtaturu usimame, tutambue uwepo wako. Tumpigie kofi kwa sababu huyu ndio aliyekuwa katibu wa kamati kabla hajapangiwa kazi nyingine, kabla hajahamishwa. Kwa hiyo tunaomba tukutambue, ndio alianza huu mchakato kama katibu, alafu aka hand over kwa katibu aliyoko sasa hivi. Asante sana. Karibu sana.